Hi everyone, so welcome to episode 2 of our brand new interview series, Who's Behind the Decks? I want to find out a little bit more about the mood makers, their sound, and what the future of this iconic scene is in Cardiff. We've already been joined by DJ Wildfire, so catch up on that episode if you missed it, and I'm really excited to introduce you to an OG from music scene, DJ Jaffa. For those of you who don't know, he's been mastering his craft for over 35 years now. And he's been grafting especially hard over lockdown, keeping things going, keeping things moving. And he's always got time for the community as well, which I really respect and appreciate too. We need a lot of that here. It's taken so much hard work for him to get to where he is now. So I really want to chat to him and have a quick catch up about where his kind of passion for DJing comes from and what some of his future plans are. So thank you so much for joining me today as well. I know you've had quite a busy day. How are you?
I'm good.
Brilliant. We'll just jump straight in because I've got loads of questions. I'm so excited to talk to you. I've definitely wanted to interview you for quite a while now. So thank you again for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure. Your skills as a DJ, they're amazing as well. I saw you supporting DJ Alex when we did the sit-down rave in front of Low Warehouse a couple of months ago. I know gigging and stuff like that, it's kind of changed. It's been very up and down. So we'll cover all of that and see how things have been for you. For anyone who hasn't heard you themselves yet as well, how would you describe your sound as a DJ and what do you love to play?
Well, I'm primarily a hip-hop DJ. I started out as a hip-hop DJ, but as you do with hip-hop and through hip-hop's influences, through samples and stuff like that, you get into other genres of music. I grew up and my mother was massively into like Motown and disco and stuff. So that I've had that in my DNA since birth. And then getting into like jazz and rock and stuff like that through the samples, and then just loving all that sort of style of music, and then just loving the progression of hip hop from like the early sort of 808s, just drum beats, the sort of live instrumentation of like Raps Delights. And then moving on to things like the Neptune sounds, the whole Timbaland sounds, and then up to the modern sort of era. A lot of people my age are sort of like putting down new music a bit. They're like, oh, it's not like it used to be and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's got to progress to grow. So, there's stuff I don't like today, and there's stuff I do like today. It's the same as it's been every sort of step of the way, really, in my journey. So.
It is. It's nice to see that the transformation of some artists as well. And I suppose for yourself, going right back to the beginning of your DJing career, like that was when hip hop was fresh, and it was totally different to how we kind of recognise it now. How was it kind of seeing the transition through hip hop as well, and hip hop's own journey in itself? Because that's pretty huge.
Yeah, it was like, when I first started DJing, well, even before I started DJing, but I was just collecting records, and when I was breakdancing and stuff, it was just like, you'd buy one record and there wouldn't be anything else out for a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden now it's like I'm on a few record pools and I get sent music and I'm looking at like 5,000 records a month easily, it's like, it's crazy. I remember going when I first started DJing and going on record shopping trips, and I'd buy like about 10 records, and then that would do me for like a month. It's all vinyl and stuff, but it's like now it's really saturated. The whole scene is just like there's so much music coming out, and that's just from like local artists as well. It's like just last week alone, I bought like Daya's EP, I bought Benji Wells EP, and then like today I bought the new Brighty EP, and it's just like, and that's just on a local level. So you can imagine how much I'm getting like from worldwide artists. So yeah, it's changed a lot.
It's also exciting as well, and I suppose back then, like you said, you would just have your tracks then, or your vinyls rather, for the weeks ahead or months ahead. And now, do you find it harder to pick certain songs because there's more out there, or do you like it all?
No, it's like I say I get sent like about 5,000 records. Out of that 5,000, I'd probably only pick around about 250, something like that, because there's a lot of stuff by producers. I know, I'll sort of look at something and be like, oh, it's produced by so and so, so I won't even listen to it. It'll be like on site. I'll just be like, yeah, I'll have that.
Yeah.
And artists as well. Anything like, say, there's a rapper called Napoleon the Legend. Like anything he does, I love. So it's like I don't even have to listen to it; I'll get it straight away. So a lot of it is just on site. I'll just look through it, blah blah blah, blah. And then some of it then as well. It's like, oh, I don't know this artist, so I'll basically press play, listen to it, and think, okay, will that work in certain situations? Like if my weekly residency, I do a weekly residency in Peppermint every Saturday. So will that work in there? Is it like sort of hip hop? Is it R&B? Is it dancehall? Is it Afrobeats? So will it work in that setting? Or will it work on my radio show? Or will it work in whatever else I'm doing? So like I said, a lot of it I just skim through, and then I'll go back when I've skimmed through it and I think, yeah, it'll fit in these certain situations. Then I'll go back to it and sort of delve into it a bit deeper and sort of think, oh yeah, I can make my own sort of live edit of it and take this bit from the back and start it off and then flip it around and just make it a bit more interesting.
That's one thing as well I've always admired about DJing and even radio hosting. There's so much planning sometimes that goes into it. So the few minutes you might hear of a song or of a set, there's been so much work that goes on in the background. So fair play for always taking the time to be fresh as well and keeping up with it all. I think it's so important.
Oh yeah, it does take a lot of time, especially these days. Like I said, there's so much out there. You have got to allocate time to literally just sit down and go through music. It's like I'm on like about 4 different record pools. I've got stuff being sent to me left, right, and centre through email, and then it's just stuff I buy on iTunes, stuff I buy on Bandcamp. So I'm just like music 24/7 basically.
Well, it's the best way to be. I find like it helps you through your day as well, and it's nice as well when you hear something that hasn't been brought out in ages. I know Benji's recently brought out a new EP, which you've mentioned there. Is there any other favourite local artists that you're keeping an eye on at the moment, or anyone's work rate which has really impressed you?
There's so many. It's like, Benji, Mesa Great, Man Like Vision is phenomenal. Blue City, or anything that comes on Barbacasso is another thing. It's on site. I'll just buy it straight away. It's like I got sent some stuff that I featured on, and I was like, I'm going to buy it as well. And no, don't buy it. It's handed to you because I'm like, well, no. Well, it's like that's I've got a whole thing with like the whole Spotify generation. It's just like, it's great if you haven't got the money. Fair enough, it's there. But 79p for an MP3 on iTunes, or like 99p on Bandcamp or whatever it is, it's not going to break the bank for a lot of people, and it's helping a lot of artists. So as far as I'm concerned, even if I've been sent the project already, I'll just buy it and I'll just keep it on my phone to listen to. So it's helping out local artists, it's helping out independent artists, because it's not just like Welsh artists I'll buy stuff for. It's like independent artists I like from, like, there's a rapper from Manchester called Lay Full Stop. Anything she puts out, I'll buy. Like Children of Zeus, I'll buy anything they put out. It's like was it Trademark Blood from Birmingham? Anything he puts out, I'll buy. But I just got this thing about Spotify. They don't really pay well, and so in my eyes, I look at Spotify as just a really good promotional tool. And that's it, basically. They're not, unless you're like a massive artist, you're not really going to get paid on Spotify.